Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, and the topic of this 10-minute moan is Rupert Lowe being accused of being a convicted racist by a police officer at a protest, which is a bit bonkers. Now this video I'm about to show you, I'm going to show you about 30 seconds or so of, I think, a 17 or 18 minute video that a gentleman called Bear Britain Audits, who's on this channel, I'll put a link below to his channel and the video in full so you can go and support him, and I've put his watermark onto the small clip that I'm going to show you. Now it appears that Bear Britain Audits is at some sort of woke lefty protest where they are going to start having banners up about refugees welcome here, etc. And him, and it appears a few other auditors or civilian journalists have popped along for the fun. And I think it's somewhere in Oxford. But I do appreciate anybody giving me feedback on that. Stick your comments below if that's not the case. Now, what's happened here is they've followed them down to the protest area. And it's quite funny. You should watch it. You'll see a lot of stuff in the full video where they are asking the people that are about to protest what is a refugee and things like that, and they kind of look at them as if they're stupid because they don't know. That's worth a look. So I'll put a link below to that. But then towards the end of the march and they get to where they're going to protest, the police start try to keep them apart, and one police officer decides that he'll talk to the camera. Whereas the other police officers have just been making sure they don't get in each other's faces, etc. But this police officer decides to have a debate with the auditors. And he tells them what he believes a refugee is, and that's worth a watch in the bigger video as well. But then for some reason brings up Rupert Lowe's name and claims that he is a convicted racist, which is pretty potty. But then even pottier than that, towards the end of the video, just where it finishes off, this sort of 30, 40 second video, he then says he doesn't have a clue who he is. So he's made this allegation about a member of parliament that he actually doesn't know who the man is. It is absolute cringe. So we'll have a look at the video together and you can let me know what you think.
If you put Rupert Lowe in now, we'll solve this problem instantly.
Who's he?
Rupert Lowe, you don't know who Rupert Lowe is?
Isn't he? He's got convictions, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. Rupert Lowe hasn't.
He's got racist convictions.
Rupert Lowe, no he hasn't.
I'm sure, isn't he?
No. Be careful calling Rupert Lowe a racist, mate, because we're not filming you right now.
Is he not?
Be careful. Hey, collar number Rupert, 2011.
Where's he from?
Rupert Lowe's been one of our politicians for years in this country.
He's not a politician, is he?
Yeah, Rupert Lowe is, yeah. I'm telling you, put him in.
He's someone else then. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him, right? This guy's a copper. Now, I've seen plenty protest videos. I've been at plenty of protest videos. And generally speaking, the police will not get involved in conversations. They'll certainly not get involved with the topic of the protest, which is indeed refugees, and claiming people are criminals who are not criminals. So I find this new way of dealing with it very, very potty, very bizarre, because you wouldn't expect, you might get a, how's your day been, any bother? No, it's been quiet. That's the sort of conversation you'll get out of a cop at a protest. Now, if you remember Liam Tuff's, it's quite a well-watched video he had where he went up to thank a police officer for being there that day, for doing his job and keeping, the whole thing peaceful. It was a protest where there was there was a counter-protest as well. So Liam Tuffs had went up to the guy to offer him a handshake to say, thank you very much for, being so good today, and the guy point blankly refused. And what had came out of that incident was, behind me is Glasgow Sheriff Court, one of Europe's busiest courts, and because of that fact we'll see every week several members of the public and podcasters, etc., facing trials in here for a number of things. However, an increasing number are for posts on social media, videos on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And for that reason and that reason alone, I believe it would make sense for everybody who does podcasts as a minimum to join the Free Speech Union, because they will help protect you when the law turns on you. That doesn't give you carte blanche to say what you want as a member, but it does give you the protection to help you when the law goes wrong. This is not now only something that should be considered by podcasters, because we are seeing more and more people each day arrested. Normal people who don't even see themselves as civilian journalists, arrested for posts on social media. So it makes sense to join the Free Speech Union, because we live in this country in 2025. This theory that cops should not be getting involved in any side of two-sided protest, and by merely shaking his hand could be interpreted by others as showing favour to one side or the other. Now this cop, you go and watch Bear Britton's video for this, because it's bizarre. He's actually talking to them, right? And it's not just how you doing, bit busy the day, what time's your shift start, that sort of, just blathering. He's actually having a debate in this full video about what a refugee is and the definition of a refugee, and how it's okay for people to come to France, from France, where it's safe. And he explains that asylum seekers are people who are fleeing wars, etc. And the guy says to him, well, what about France? There's no war in France. Ah, but that's all right. So he's actually quite openly agreeing with one side of a two-sided argument here. That's not his job. And we've had instances in the past where we've been told quite clearly, please don't do that, i.e. the Liam Tufts video, where Liam went up just to shake a guy's hand and say, thank you. Quite polite. So it's pretty bizarre that when you're on, let's say, the Patriot side of a protest, like Liam Tufts, and you go up to interact with a police officer, they will not interact. And they're told that that's quite rightly so, they shouldn't be picking sides. But then, 3 months later, 2-3 months later, we have another issue at a protest where the cop is basically justifying the other side's argument for them. Where is the fairness and the neutrality and all these things in that conversation? There isn't any. There absolutely isn't any. And I find it particularly bonkers that not only did this copper go totally against what is normal in protests, where the police try to remain impartial and neutral, but this guy's went in even a step further. He's went in, when somebody talks about Rupert Lowe, by claiming the man is a convicted racist. And then after about a minute's debate, actually admits, never heard him. How can a cop make such an outrageous claim about somebody? He then goes on to claim he didn't have a clue who they were. You would have probably thought the best thing to do is not get involved. Certainly don't try to justify one side's argument for them and why refugees should be here. And certainly, if you're going to be that stupid that you're going to start getting involved in an argument and pick a side when you should be neutral, make outrageous claims about somebody you then decide you'd never heard of before. But this is UK in 2025. So if you want others to see the video, click the thumbs up, put your comments below, hit the share button. If you've not already done so, or if you think you have before, please double check if you are still subscribed to the channel, because a lot of people are reporting for some bizarre reason they're falling off the subscribe list. So please check that. But more important than all that, unless you're the type of person that wants to be a copper and pick sides when you should be remaining neutral, or make stupid allegations about current sitting members of parliament, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.